I gave them $25,000 for the wedding, then got a message, "Please come without your kids. We already have enough children attending." I smiled, left the group chat, and stayed home with my kids. I didn't crash the wedding. The cake did that for me. Then I got 111 missed calls from almost every guest. My name is Lauren. I'm 34, big sister by 3 years, mother of 2 small tornadoes, Eli 6 and Nora 4, and the person in my family who finds lost chargers and pays invoices that accidentally end up in the group chat. I do budget analysis for a logistics company. My love language is spreadsheets. My sister Ava calls that cold, then sends me her Venmo handle with a heart. I married young, learned quick, and now run a house that functions. Kids' shoes by the door, snack drawer labeled, calendar color-coded like a rainbow that pays property tax. My husband Mark works nights at the hospital. We take turns being tired. Ava is the golden one, youngest. She glows in pictures and never untags herself. She says she's building an aesthetic lifestyle brand, which, near as I can tell, means staging picnics and captioning them soft hours. Mom calls her our artist. Dad calls me dependable, the way you describe a dishwasher that's not stainless steel. When Ava got engaged to Mason, the family group chat detonated. Photos of the ring, countdown apps, a Pinterest board named Forever July. Mom started speaking in florists. Peonies, she'd say, like a diagnosis. I like weddings. Cake, music, people wearing their best faces. I did what I do. Asked for the budget, made a tidy sheet, highlighted places to save. Ava didn't want to save. She wanted a chandelier in a barn and a cake moment, capital M. She asked if I could help with a cushion. I talked to Mark. We looked at our emergency fund and tax return. We decided to gift $25,000 to cover what the venue deposit didn't. It was stupid generous. It was love, maybe mixed with old reflex. 2 weeks before the wedding, I was at the park with my kids, pushing Nora on the swing while answering 3 work emails with my thumb. My phone pinged. Wedding fam lit up. A link popped in, then a sentence from Ava. Quick note, please come without your kids. We already have enough children attending. I stared at the screen. The park slide squeaked. Eli yelled, "Look, Mom!" and did a brave, shaky climb. I caught him, kissed his hair, and told him he was awesome. Then I looked back at the message. Enough children. Like my kids were luggage. I typed, "No worries," and backspaced. I typed, "Thanks for telling me now," and backspaced. I swallowed it. I put my phone in my pocket and pushed my daughter higher because neither of them needed my face doing math with feelings. That night, after bedtime, I read the message again. Please come without your kids. Not could you, not would it be possible. It had the tone of a hotel sign about towels. I scrolled up and saw my own words from months ago. We can cover up to $25K. Next to a heart emoji from Ava, next to Mom's our angel. I sat very still at the table and felt something click into place, quiet and heavy, like the sound of a door finally shutting. It's not like the $25,000 came out of nowhere. Money and Ava have always been a plotline. When we were teenagers, I saved babysitting cash for a laptop, Ava borrowed it for a project, and returned it with a cracked hinge and a selfie on the desktop. Mom said, accidents happen. When Ava got her first credit card, I was the one who explained interest while she filmed a haul. She laughed and said, "You make everything sound like a lecture," and posted a video titled, "Adulting is a Scam." I'm not mean. I'm just allergic to pretending numbers don't have gravity. The wedding planning started sweet. Ava and I drank coffee at her place and scrolled through vendors. She squealed at photos. I typed prices. Okay, I'd say, if you want the band, we cut back on the custom signage. She'd pout and say, but the signs are the vibe. Mom would walk in and say, let her dream. So I stopped being the brakes and became the bank. We decided on our gift in March. Mark squeezed my hand and said, we can do this once. He looked proud of me, like I was stepping into a story where my generosity changed something. I wanted that story. I wrote the check, took a photo for our records, and sent it with a card. For your start, no strings. Ava's no kids policy came up vaguely in April. She said she wanted a refined evening. I said mine were well-behaved and we'd step out during speeches if needed. She waved a hand and said, "We'll figure it out." I suspect she thought she was talking to the version of me who always figures things out alone. The thing about kids is they exist. You don't store them in a cloud for later. Mark's shifts meant I would either bring them or miss most of the day. I told Mom that. She made that face, the one that says I'm being rigid. "It's just one night," she said. "Ask a sitter." I said, "We don't have a sitter who can do 14 hours in an overnight. It's not fair to our kids." She said, "Lauren, you're making this about you." I wanted to say, I literally gave them $25,000, but I didn't. I swallowed it and made lasagna and labeled Tupperware because that's how I love people, feeding them, tracking their inputs, and keeping things from falling apart. 2 weeks before the wedding, the group message turned into a memo. "Please come without your kids. We already have enough children attending." The already bumped me like a coffee table. Enough as in a quota, as in my kids didn't clear it. I called Ava. "Hey," she sang. "Hey, you know I can't be there without the kids' Mark's on nights." "Right, that's why I have to be strict. If I let you bring yours, then Zoe will bring her twins, and then Shannon will think it's okay, and we'll have chaos." "They're not chaos. They're people," I said. My voice came out half flat, half tired. "We just want a certain aesthetic," she said. "No sticky fingers in photos." "Did you hear yourself?" I asked. She sighed. "You're being dramatic. Just get a sitter." "It's not that simple." "Everything is that simple for you," she snapped. "You just make it complicated because you like control." I counted to 5. "Ava," I said, "we gave you $25,000. She went very quiet and then bright, fake bright. "And we are so grateful. That's why I'm telling you like this, because you're a grown-up. Please don't make me feel bad." I didn't say anything. She filled the silence. "I just want it perfect," she said. "Like magazine perfect. And kids, they're loud. You get it." I got something. I texted Mark, "They don't want the kids." He called me during a break in the ER. "So we stay home," he said. "She'll be mad." "She's already mad at hypothetical toddlers," I said. Mom texted a separate message. "Let your sister have this." Then, "I talked to Aunt Carol. She's not bringing hers either." Then, "We've all compromised." I looked at my bank app, at the line with the checks settled. I thought about the ways I'd compromised since January. The afternoons, I took the kids to Ava's house so she could try on looks. The Saturday, I did her seating chart because she couldn't think in squares. I pictured myself getting a sitter anyway, putting the kids in pajamas that night, telling them Mom has to go smile in a barn without them. Sorry. Kiss your heads. Be back late. A small, stubborn voice rose up. "Why?" I left the group chat. No dramatic announcement, no speech. Just leave. A gray system message. Lauren left the conversation. I waited for my phone to explode. It didn't. It pulsed with 3 dots from Ava, then nothing. Mom called and I let it go to voicemail. "We need to discuss expectations," she said. There it was. Not an invitation. Expectations. At bedtime, Eli asked, "Are we going to Aunt Ava's wedding?" I said, "We're going to have our own party at home." He asked if there would be cake. "Absolutely," I said. I felt something unclench, like my rib cage remembered it had hinges. I set 2 plastic crowns on our kitchen table and a $7 grocery store cake in the fridge. I washed their pajamas. I turned my ringer to silent. I didn't crash the wedding. The cake did that for me. The wedding day arrived hot and bossy. Mark left for his shift with a kiss and a "proud of you." I put the kids in swimsuits, ran the sprinkler, made lemonade, and didn't check my phone. Mid-afternoon, Aunt Carol sent a photo anyway. Ava in lace and a veil that looked like it required its own seat. She did look beautiful. I felt a tug, then a steadier feeling underneath. We made pizza on store crust. We put sprinkles on everything. Nora demanded fancy water, sparkling. Eli insisted the toy dinosaur officiate. We made a mess, and I didn't wipe the counter twice. Around 7 p.m., my cousin Ben called. I let it ring out. He texted, "Are you seeing this?" I put my phone face down and cut the cake. We took a bite. Nora got frosting on her eyebrow and declared herself a snow queen. Eli put a grape on top like a cherry and said, "Now it's fancy." We danced to a playlist called Kitchen Bops, which is mostly songs about sharks, and one Beyoncé because I'm not raising Philistines. At 8:12, my phone buzzed 6 times like a trapped bee. I finally glanced. New group chat. Someone re-added me? Named Reception Updates, and a noise. Videos arriving fast. I tapped one by accident. The cake. Ava's cake moment had been teased all month. 7 tiers, sugar flowers, little gold flecks, a custom stand with hidden wheels, and a dramatic reveal where the decorator would push it out to a song while sparklers rained. It was, from what I'd seen in previews, more architecture than dessert. In the video, the barn doors opened, music swelled, a hush. The cake rolled in like a celebrity. People gasped. Ava clasped her hands, eyes wet. The decorator, a man in a white chef coat with forearms like hope, beamed. Then the wheel hit the lip of the dance floor. It was small, a hiccup, but the stand jerked and the top 3 tiers got the idea of gravity at the same time. One slid left, one slid right, one leaned forward like a drunk uncle. Guests lunged. The decorator hissed, "No, no, 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 no," in a whisper that slapped the mic. The groom tried to steady it with both hands. He palmed a curtain of buttercream. Time slowed. Someone yelled, "It's fine!" It was not fine. The top tier detached like a capsule. It landed on the head table with a soft thud, then scooted across the linen, surfing a wave of frosting, and kissed the bride's bouquet. The bouquet obliged by flinging roses like confetti. The remaining tiers committed to slapstick. One slipped, pancaked the DJ's laptop, and turned the beat into a dying whale noise. Another did a dignified lean into a tower of champagne flutes that had been waiting, trembling for their life's purpose. They fulfilled it. The last tier, valiant, tried to stay upright, then surrendered and slid off like a slow starfish, landing in the groom's lap. My cousin's video caught an aunt in the background whispering, "Oh, sweet Jesus," and Grandpa cackling once before Grandma shushed him so hard her pearls shifted. Ben sent another text. "It's everywhere." Then, "The decorator is crying." Then, "Ava's makeup is also crying." I covered my mouth with my hand and did not laugh. I didn't cheer. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt separate, like I was watching a storm from inside a house with good windows. My phone lit up with names. Mom, Ava, Dad, unknown numbers. 18 missed calls in 5 minutes. A new message from Aunt Carol. "Are you coming?" Another from a cousin. "This is your fault." Another. "We told them not to move the cake. They wanted it in motion." I put my phone down. I gave my kids more cake. By 9:03 p.m., I had 37 missed calls. By 9:40, 68. At 10:12, it hit triple digits. Final count that night, 111 missed calls. Nearly every guest seemed to take a turn like the phone was a confessional. I let the silence fill the house. I bathed the kids, read 2 stories, and hummed the off-key lullaby they like because I forget the real tune. I tucked them in and sat on the hallway rug for a minute, hearing their sleep settle. My chest felt both hollow and proud. Then I made tea and pressed play on the voicemails like I was grading homework. Mom, urgent. "Lauren, your sister is devastated. The cake collapsed. You need to come. We need family." I sipped. Ava, ragged. I can't believe you left the chat. I can't believe you didn't come. Everyone's asking where you are. Ben, breathless, whisper gossip. It was like a glacier calving. Also, Uncle Tim slipped and caught a strawberry with his mouth mid-air, and Aunt Jess said he's not allowed to do that again. Unknown number, furious. This is Mason's mom. Your behavior is disgraceful. You embarrassed Ava by absence, and then this disaster. I paused that one and deleted. Dad, measured. We expect you to apologize in the morning. Aunt Carol, kind. Honey, stay put. It's a mess. I love you. Another unknown, gleeful. Girl, it was like the Titanic, but dessert. Between messages, texts stacked. So selfish. You couldn't even show up. Apparently you paid for this? Then fix it. We're at $1,200 cleaning fees already. I told them not to wheel it, the decorator texted from a number I didn't recognize. They wanted the moment. Contract says stationary. I'm covered. I'm going home. I typed once to him, I'm not the point of contact. He replied with a cake emoji and, oddly, a thumbs up. I put my phone face down again and opened my laptop. Not to spiral, but to do what calms me. Organize. I made a folder called Wedding. I dragged screenshots into it. The check image, Ava's no kids message, the group chat announcement, the vendor contract PDF Ava had forwarded me weeks ago with, isn't this font cute? It was illegible and prohibitively expensive. I had suggested Arial. I was ignored. I found the clause that said, cake remains stationary once assembled. I wrote a short email to myself with a timeline, not to send, just to put it somewhere outside my skull. March, $25K gift. April, no kids floated. June 18, please come without your kids. We already have enough children attending. July 12, cake meltdown. At 11 p.m., Mom called again. I answered because I'm not a robot. You need to come, she said without hello. No, I said. This is not the time for your boundaries. It is exactly the time. My kids are asleep. I'm home. That was the rule. You set. I followed it. The cake fell, I said. I'm sorry for the mess, but I am not an emergency broom. You're punishing us. I'm protecting me. You think you're better? I think I didn't deserve to be told my children are excess inventory after paying for half the party, I said, a little harder than I meant. Silence spooled out. Mom tried a new angle. Ava is humiliated. Everyone's whispering. They were always going to whisper about the centerpieces, if not the cake. Your grandmother is crying. Then she should drink some water. Lauren! Mom, I said, listen. We gave a gift, no strings. And then you added a string around my kids' necks. I'm not stepping over them to go clap for a cake. That cake cost money, I said. Yes, everything keeps costing money. We need you to help cover the damages, she said finally, the real ask stepping out of the shadows. No, I said. You're saying no to your mother? I'm saying no to paying for the consequences of choices I did not make, she huffed. I will remember this. I hope you remember it accurately, I said, and hung up. By midnight, messages turned meaner. You sabotaged this. You cursed it. You could have caught the cake. Some had theology. God sees what you did. Okay, and he saw the buttercream's structural integrity. I brushed my teeth and laughed once in the mirror at that thought, then felt tired in my bones. Next morning, the debrief narrative started. Ava posted to Instagram. Black background, white text. Not everything goes to plan. What matters is love. Photos cropped tight. No cake. In the family chat, yes, someone added me again. Mom wrote, we will be invoicing certain people for last-minute changes that led to issues. Someone asked who certain people were. She didn't answer. Aunt Carol sent me the screenshot of the decorator's email to the planner. As stated, the cake must remain stationary after assembly for stability. Any movement voids guarantees. The planner replied, understood. Then the note from Ava, we want the cake to roll out. It's the moment. 4 exclamation points. I stared at it, feeling like someone finally turned on the overhead light in a room where I'd been squinting. By lunch, I had 3 separate texts from cousins asking if I was really charging them back for our gift. I said, a gift is a gift. Then added, because I'm done helping the story lie, but we won't be contributing more. Mark slept till noon after his shift, shuffled into the kitchen, drank coffee like it was a sacrament. How bad? He asked. Picture a cake doing parkour, I said. He snorted into his mug. What do you want to do? He asked. I want to take the kids to the library and then the park and put my phone in a drawer. Perfect, he said. Permission granted. We did that. It was ordinary. It tasted like relief. In the following days, invoices began hunting. Venue damage, extra cleaning, champagne tower replacement. Each email CC'd 10 people and somehow me. I replied with one line to all. We are not responsible for these costs. Do not contact us regarding payment. For extra measure, I added, please remove my contact information from this thread. Mom called to say my tone was unhelpful. I said my boundary was not a suggestion box. Ava texted a photo of her dress with streaks of frosting, captioned, hope you're happy. I typed and deleted 5 replies and then sent, I hope you get it cleaned. Full stop. Grandma called, voice small. I don't understand what happened, she said. Me either, but I know what didn't happen. I didn't abandon my kids to clap for people who told me they were clutter. She sighed. You were always the practical one. Sometimes practical is just respectful of ourselves. She was quiet and then said, bring the children on Sunday. We'll have pie. Bless her. By Friday, the noise thinned. People found new things to peck at. The decorator posted a cryptic TikTok about integrity under pressure, and Ava posted a carousel of our day with the comments limited. I bought a cheap handheld mixer because mine died mid-muffin, and the kids asked if we could make smash cake, which is apparently cake you were allowed to smash on purpose and then eat with a spoon. We did. It was chaos. It was joy. It was life without a seating chart. A week out, I sat at my kitchen table with my planner and a pen. I wrote 3 sentences at the top of a blank page. I gave a gift. They set a condition that erased my kids. I chose my kids. That's it. No speeches, no persuasive essays, no audits. I don't need to convince anyone. I wanted to for a while. I wanted them to say, we were wrong, and place a crown of reason on my head. But crowns are heavy and itchy and not worth it. I sent one email to Ava and Mom. Subject, going forward. We won't be paying any wedding aftermath costs. Do not use my gift to leverage guilt. If you host an event that excludes my kids, I will not attend. No hard feelings. That's just the boundary. Ava wrote one line. You're unbelievable. I didn't reply. Mom called and left a message that began, it breaks my heart, and ended with, but you're still invited to the gift opening Sunday. I declined. I took my kids to Grandma's instead and watched them eat pie with forks too big for their hands. On the way home, Eli asked from his booster, why didn't we go to Aunt Ava's party? I kept it simple. Because it wasn't for kids, buddy. He thought about it, then said, so we made our own. Yes, we did. He fell asleep before the next red light. I don't hate my sister.
I don't wish frosting on her dress forever. I don't root for gravity. I hope she learns to love people more than pictures. I hope she has children someday and realizes they are not clutter, they are the point. I hope she calls me in 5 years and we laugh about the tear that slid like a brave little sled. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. What I know is this. I will not pay admission to a family that treats my kids like a mess to be cleaned. I will not buy my way into a smile. I will not let expectations trample what's sacred in my house. We gave that money with open hands. It's gone. The strings they tried to tie afterward aren't ours to hold. I cut them. The space that made? That's where my kids dance in pajamas while a grocery store cake leans a little because I iced it bad, and we laugh, and nothing expensive breaks, and if it does, no one sends an invoice. This wasn't revenge. It was closure. It was a tiny, unglamorous choice made at a kitchen table with a crayon crown on it. It was staying home and eating cake that didn't need a moment to be good. And when my phone lights up with more noise, I can look at my kids, frosting on their noses, and remember my 5 quiet words. The ones I didn't say out loud, but I keep saying with my feet. I chose us. And I'm done.